And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. I have my good friend Chris here. We're here to review It. Welcome to Derry, episode one. And let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and review this. I'm excited to have Chris back here with me. So, without further ado, let's do it. And hey, man, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. I do appreciate you coming back.
Is my sound muted?
Yeah, you were
there we go.
muted for a second. Yep. But
Hi,
yeah,
everybody.
man. Hey, everyone. Good to have you back, man. So here we are. We're talking about the black spot. And everybody knows this is actually one of the biggest things that happens in the Derry, actually in the Stephen King's It novel. It actually started the fire and stuff like that. But it starts off a little bit differently than what it does in the book. But I like how they set it up in the TV show. So I definitely like that. But let's talk about this. The fact that it actually starts off back in 1908 at the carnival, and then Pennywise, the dancing clown. And of course, we also know this is Bob Gray because of the fact that his hair is not the way it's supposed. You know what I'm saying? It has all the
Right.
makeup, the prosthetics on it. But I definitely like it. I definitely like how we're introduced to this and how it became Pennywise, giving us the whole entire background of that. And I feel like that the audience actually does need to know how Bob Gray died and the origins of how Mrs. Kersh came about with this as well. So I definitely like how they started us off with this, and especially the stage play of Pennywise dancing out on stage and have him more. And it looks like he was trying to mourn. The story is like mourning over his dead wife, I think. So
Yeah.
I like how they're actually foreshadowing him and his hurt of mourning over his dead wife while also trying to take care of his daughter. So, what did you think about the opening scene?
I think it's great. I loved that they actually brought that in, giving us a background on Pennywise and how he wasn't always Pennywise the clown, right? He was imitating what a little boy, and lured him out into the woods, and he chose him because the children seem to be attracted to you.
Right. The innocence of
Or
the
drawn to you.
child. Right. Because that's actually the easiest way to go about it because he's actually seeing how the kids are actually engaged in what Pennywise is doing, what Bob Gray is doing with these kids. It's like, okay, so I can lure these kids in with the innocence of my eyes or my whole entire persona of dancing and stuff like that, making them smile, and then turn on them and stuff. So I definitely like how they did this. And I feel like that you actually need the context within this to actually get us going here. And I also like how Mrs. Kirch is actually dressed up in a little clown outfit, wanting to show Bob Gray, hey, look, um, I'm I'm wanting to do this with you. And he does the father and daughter thing, and he winds up naming her after the mother. And
Yeah.
I like that moment of Bob, like, let me see your bow. And she bows and she also blows her horn. It was just this cute little adorable moment between father and daughter that I really had a big smile on my face. And Bill Skarsgård does a fantastic job of balancing Pennywise and also Bob Gray at the same time, which is a hard thing to do as an actor. But overall, I thought that scene really pays off.
Yeah, it was a great scene. You get the emotional attachment for Miss Kirsch, to Pennywise, and you also learned that Pennywise was once a famous clown back in the day, right? So I
Right.
mean, he's a prestigious figure at this point, which makes him even more alluring to the audience. Um, and it was great. He like you mentioned, he had the play. It was good storytelling mixed with comedy and everything. And I could see why it would choose him to mimic.
Exactly. And then I also like how Bob is just drinking. Matter of fact, he's just taking a break, smoking a cigarette and drinking a little bit and just trying to cool down from everything over the day. And then you see this kid just pop out of the woods And I like how he goes, "Go away." He doesn't even want to be bothered at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, at first I thought he was just gonna be a complete jerk, but then you're like, well, he did kinda try like, he heard the mom scream supposedly, which was more than likely just it.
Right.
Uh, but, he's like, "Oh, well, maybe this kid actually needs some help." And, the kid looked a little roughed up too, so
Definitely was believable. I do like the fact that, he's luring him in to this trap and using the innocence of that child to do what it needs to do, which is take the persona of Bob. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden it goes into Mrs. Kirk. Well, Kirch is a little kid, and there's all it is just his little handkerchief with his initials on it. And
Uh, all covered in blood.
he's like, "Oh, maybe a coyote got to him." I'm like,
The wolves, yeah.
"Yeah, wolves." I'm like, "Really, dude?" So you're not even gonna go and check on the dude or
Well,
anything. It's like,
I did say that they combed the woods a little bit, in the
right, and that's how they
background,
came up.
so, yeah.
True,
So, I
but
mean, they didn't
still,
just leave them out to the wolves.
right, or it.
Or
But yeah, I definitely liked the opening. I thought the cold opening was really good, and then we get back into the 1960s with Bowers and his men wanting one hang. Dick tells them it's a military hangout, um, and was going to give himself up. Hank was actually going to give himself up, and there was a standoff between Bowers and his men and the military. Bowers is going to burn the black spot down, which we actually see in the book and everything too, where they actually burn it down. At
Mm,
first, whenever they showed us with the black spot, I thought, is this the club that's going to be burned down that I
right.
read inside the novel? I'm like, is it? And then all of a sudden it does happen. I like that nod to the book. And I really feel I actually geeked out a little bit because of the fact that I know what's going to happen. But
Right.
just seeing it in its full context on the screen, oh my gosh, like that was just horrifying to see. As a matter of fact, there was an Easter egg in that scene.
Oh, yeah?
Y-
Which Easter egg?
Okay, so did you ever see the movie or the miniseries of Storm of the Century?
No, I haven't.
Okay, in there, the Mr. Knowledge. Well, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. It's been years since I've seen it, but he tells the townspeople, "Give me what I want, and I'll go away." And a matter of fact, the mask even looks like Mr. Noj. And so that's actually a quote that Mr. Noj says to the town, just as that character is saying it to
Mm,
them. So I like that little nod to Storm of the Century.
that's cool.
But yeah, the black spot just burning down, and then seeing all these characters being burnt up. Everyone that we knew in this whole entire TV show just starts getting burned up, getting
Yeah.
shot up. We see Dick tripping again. He's seeing visions of a dead Indian person, and the Indian person's trying to, and then the Civil War soldiers trying to show him the way out to another side. And then we have Margaret, and we also have Rich. And this reminds me of Titanic, but Titanic done in the right way, where you actually have Rich goes get inside the trunk. She goes,
Yeah.
he goes, "It's enough for two people," and she's like, "No, it's not. It's not enough. It's okay." Shuts the lid. He gets on top of it, and he sacrifices himself for Marge. And that's going to be, I'm going to say this, that's actually going to be Richie's mom that we actually get. I
Mm,
want to say Marge is actually short for Margaret, which is also Richie Tozer's mother. So I think that's what's going to wind up happening. At first, I wasn't sure if that was what it was going to be, but it's now more clear to me that it is.
mhm.
But then you see Pennywise just go out of nowhere in the fire, and then he starts eating somebody's face. He goes, "I'm sorry, do I have a face on my face?"
Yeah. I was like, "What?" I'm sorry. Do I have face on my
Face.
face? Like, and he's just standing staring at her. Like, what?
And blood is just dripping
Yeah,
down
blood
his
and
face.
drool.
And I feel bad for Veronica. She's just horrified at this, and then just to know that this woman who was just trying to reach out for refuge, and then her face is getting eaten up by it.
Yeah.
That was gruesome.
Yeah,
But
it was a
that
pretty
whole time,
gruesome scene.
like it was nothing but full on carnage with this black spot.
Yeah, I mean, the explosive wounds from all the guns being shot out, the fires on everybody. It was it was a pretty gruesome scene. Um, and then uh, the visions for what's his name, seeing the Native American ends up being one of the tribal leaders, the former tribal leaders,
Yep, from the
and
Indian tribe. Yeah,
yeah, he did try to save the kids, which I was thinking he was just gonna try and dip, you know?
right. But it was cool to actually see the Indian dude just stand there to point out in the direction of where these kids are.
Hmm.
And then Dick is actually moves into that area, moves the refrigerator, and they sneak out Veronica, Hank, and Will,
Hmm.
leaving Richie and Marge behind. This made me cry.
Yeah, man, that was so sad. I mean, he saved Marge, right? And he was able to get the last few words in, a little story about, take a picture, it might last longer.
Hmm. I think,
And pretty
yeah,
much professes his love for her. And I mean, that one kind of ate me up a little bit,
me too.
going really on the inside. It's like I was hoping maybe he'd survive, but I mean, we see how gruesome and uh uh
Grotesque.
grotesque, yeah. Uh, uh and none of the kids are safe.
No,
So
I even said this at the very beginning. If you're thinking that these kids are going to be safe, you're in a rude awakening, because the only one I saw that could wind up surviving is Will. And then we're going to talk about Will in a few minutes, because I'm like, oh, I might be wrong here on what they're doing. But,
yeah, Pennywise, duck and cover, kiddos.
oops. But the dark humor in this is funny, it's creepy. I love what Bill Skarsgård is doing here with Pennywise. It is so dark. And then him going out to see Mrs. Kersh,
Hmm.
and the husband is like, "Well, you need to get back inside. You need to go back home." Because Charlotte, I forgot what her actual character name is. I've been calling her Mr. Kersh all through.
Right.
He's like, "You need to go back home." Next thing you know, you see Pennywise with a butcher knife,
Yeah.
and just chops off the dude's head and starts eating it like a damn orange.
Yeah, he's got that Pennywise shuffle walking up with
That swagger.
with his butcher knife and just shoink right across. And that's where the he she starts talking to him thinking is her
It's her
dad,
right.
her
And
father.
I like how she does this thing with him, and she goes, "Dad, look!" And she starts bowing, and he starts clapping like it was his daughter again and
Hmm.
stuff. He goes, "Well, I got to go now." And she's like, "No, Dad, no, don't abandon." She goes, "I'll come back. I always do.
It's time for
I'll,
me to get some sleep.
I got to go to sleep now." It's like, and then she turns around, "Don't abandon me." If she wouldn't have grabbed his arm, she would have been okay. But no, she had to go on ahead, grab his arm.
Hmm.
And Belle, she looks at him and she goes, "You're not my dad." Because
Oh yeah,
I
the
am,
look that he gave her, man. If looks could kill, that was it right there. She grabs him as he's trying to walk away. He has his routine, man. He eats and then he goes to sleep.
asleep. Exactly, for 27 years. So you get to see your dad at 27 years. But
And he's like, he just stares at her, and then that look, she could tell immediately, you're not my dad.
no. And I also like this though, dude. Like whenever he's looking at her, he goes, "I am your dad. I'm Pennywise, the dancing daddy. Your dancing daddy."
Yeah, like he's still trying to play it off.
Right. Even though his cover's been blown, even with that
Mhm.
you're toast. You're done. And
Yep.
then all of a sudden she's like, "You're not my dad." He goes, "No, I ate him."
I can still feel
And
him reaching. He's reaching for you. Yeah.
and then
Just
yeah.
ah.
And then the dead lights happen whenever
Mhm.
his mouth opens up, and then she's gone. She's dead now.
Yeah.
But that scene was just horrifying to see, and I'm like, "Look, girl, all you had to do was just let him go. It would have been fine." But no, you just had to grab his arm. He just
Uh,
wanted to go to sleep. That's all he had to do. He was ready to go to sleep. He was about
I
to go on
mean,
ahead.
I kinda get it, though. The last time she saw him was 27 years ago when he
Yeah,
disappeared into the woods. She lost her dad. She finally gets to see him again, right? She
well,
doesn't
she
wanna
also saw him
lose him.
again whenever she was working at the hospital and lured that poor girl down in the boiler room.
That's true. That's true. She did see that one time, but just the gap, she misses her dad, and she thinks that this creature is her dad, and until those final moments.
Right. And then she's like, I knew I would get to see you again. This is before she was, I knew I would get to see you again if I just went on ahead and gave you enough fear, enough anxiety
Oh
to
yeah,
feed
she
off
she
of.
made the call to say that uh
That Hank was inside the
Hank
and
was
that
in the hangar. She was the anonymous tipper,
yeah,
and she knew that a lynch squad was going to go over and do stuff and make him appear because it'd be too irresistible for him. Yeah,
exactly.
that was kind of messed up.
So it really is like all could have been prevented if Hank just kept his dick in his pants.
Right.
If he would have just not slept with Mrs. Kersh, things would have been okay. But no, he just had to go in and do it. Anyways, then we actually have the military found Matron and they found it at this moment.
Hmm.
And whenever I seen the turtle shell, I'm like, okay, that's Matron. And then it is actually inside Matron as like a protector so that way nobody can get into getting it out. And I just thought, oh God, now we're in for a ride for this rest of this episode.
Yep. It just kind of went. They were only supposed to move it so far to try and keep the gate closed, but they decided to take it all the way to the base because now he's asleep.
Right. And
And
but
I was like, oh man, don't do it.
I was thinking the same thing. You guys are so stupid. You guys don't even know what you're dealing with here. You're dealing
Right.
with a darkness that's within Derry that they don't that nobody understands themselves other than the Indians that are there protecting it. And yet you want to go ahead and have control over this, thinking that you have control over this thing. Nobody has control over this. The only people that have control over it, in a sense, is the Indians, and that's it.
And it's not even real control. They just have it caged in.
Right. It's like a pit bull that just has like electric shock therapy. That's all it is. If you think about it, it's like, okay, we have him on his leash. So if he doesn't go outside the perimeter, we're okay. We don't have to worry about having to put it down.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
then
and they have no clue how to put it down, and they just unleashed a whole
darkness
new
within.
issue.
Mhm. But I do like the fact that Dick helped Will and Hank and Veronica escape. Rick and Marge are in the black spot still. Rich puts okay. We already talked about that. Charlie and the kids get Hank out of the woods. Dick tells them that it isn't around anymore. Dick knows about the other pillar, but I also like the fact that you have Will's father, Leroy, talking to him, and you see all these dead people around Dick.
Oh yeah, and then if you notice, a lot of them were fresh from the fires too.
Right.
And I was like, what did they do to us? What are they doing to me?
And then also too, you also have remember when Pennywise sees Dick, goes, "I see you, do you see us?" But that was also another horrifying thing within the
It
fire
was
and the flames and stuff.
the whole you see them, do you realize that they see you too? And then he like he like controls them sort of and makes them all kind of like do one of those horror like look at him kind of things.
Right,
I think the only one that wasn't affected was the Native American tribal leader,
right,
because
because that was the one that was the protector.
he was the protector, and I think because he reached out to it, because he said once he reaches out to it, it's hard for him to keep everything out because they
Right.
just swarm his psyche. So yeah, that was a good creep out moment.
I agree with you. And then after that, we have Charlie and the kids wants to get Hank out of the woods. Dick tells them it isn't around. Okay. So I do like the fact that Charlie wants to get Hank out of the woods and stop. So she winds up bringing him over to Rose. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm.
But then we have Dick knows about the other pillar, radio announcer, Stanley died. Stanley died. Rose knows it is resting, and they wait 27 years. Military trying to find the pillar. Dick still sees the dead Indian. So I do like this other thing too, where you have like the announcer telling us what happened and how they're framing these black people for being in the black spot, and how the
Mhm.
police
Oh,
helped.
the radio
Yeah.
news host, yeah. Good job, boys in blue. And I'm like, they didn't do anything. What the heck?
No, but
This,
that is just
it
it
really
manipulating the radio station and the airwaves.
it manipulating the radio station, pulling out the whole racism and everything. It was yeah, it was a complete and total twist of what really happened. And I
Exactly.
even mentioned that to my buddy I was watching it with. I was like, "Oh man, they completely just twisted the whole story."
Way to go, boys in blue. They weren't even there until like the next day. And then you also have Mrs. Kersh winking at the kids.
Yeah.
The other thing that was creepy was seeing this black girl take off her wig and she's laughing.
Oh yeah, it's like she went completely nutso. I was like, "Oh geez." I mean,
Uh,
the whole traumatic
Dramatic.
the whole traumatic response, everyone mentally deals with it a little differently. I mean, it could just be she was just so overwhelmed she started doing that creepy laugh, but
I think she was
uh,
just thankful to be alive and she didn't know how to react.
yeah, thankful to be alive, but then sad at the same time that everyone she knows just died and just,
Right.
yeah, what a twist.
Charlotte, let's see. Charlotte is trying to get. Oh, so I like how Rose and them are over inside the committee with the Indians and stuff like that. And they're like, well, we'll see you in 27 years.
Oh yeah, one of the elder guys is like, "Well, see you about this shit later."
Right.
Like, nothing else I can do. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yep. Why are we even having this meeting? Are we just having a meeting just to have a meeting here? Because everything is done and toast. But then once you find out that they're not really done yet,
I
that's
think
when things.
they actually even blamed the fire on it, um,
Yeah.
in that little meeting.
Yeah, they did. They said it was
So
actually it that caused the fire.
I think that was a little nod towards the book as well.
Yep. Because every incident within the town history of it always came back to Pennywise every single time.
Mhm.
But then you also have then you have Charlotte is trying to get Hank out of town. Veronica and Marge visits Lily. They tell Lily Rich is dead. Marge sees the toy airplane that Rich threw. And I'm thinking to myself, it also went on ahead, and I don't think that is Richie's plane.
You don't think so?
No, because remember, he threw that plane and it landed in where the sewer was.
That's true. It did land over there that the last time you threw it, huh?
Right.
But I mean, that's a tough call. It could be it. But at the same time, I mean, he went to retrieve it every time too, right?
I don't think he
So
would go in the sewers though without his friend.
that's true, especially knowing it's there. So yeah, it was probably it. Yeah.
Then we have Daniel. He found out about the military and found it or the pillar because at that time I was actually confused. I'm like, did they find it or did they find the pillar? So I'm like, and I put like a question mark on my notes, and then I realized, oh no, this is it that they found. You know, because there was other pillars besides that one that Daniel had.
Right. So so you think they actually found it and not one of the pillars?
They found it. That was it. That they found them. They found it.
Uh,
And because otherwise, why would Leroy put a gun to Francis's head to tell him to let go, to not do it?
well, I
Yeah,
mean, removing a pillar is like opening the gate, right? So he knows that if we remove the pillar and they didn't follow the protocol that they originally talked about, just moving it a little bit, they completely took it to the base. So now it can just walk right through that hole. And
right.
I
But
mean,
even with the incinerator, though, burning it through the
yeah,
incinerator,
the incinerators, I'm not sure about that whole process. I think they were trying to test the rock or something maybe, but,
I think that was actually to let it loose.
you think so?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that. Like that pillar thing is just a cover up to protect it from getting out. I think that whole entire deal of them inside that chamber and stuff is to let it out.
Well, I mean, we know at the end that was the main goal, was just to let it
Mhm.
out. I think that was actually a part of the pillar though that kept him caged in, and now they just let that door just completely open up, and they destroyed a way to close it.
Right. I just I feel bad for Leroy at this point because he's just trying to do what's right.
Yeah, he's
Like,
trying to do what's right, and I'm not sure he's. Yeah, I think he's going to be chased down there in the next episode,
I think he's gonna be held captive inside that base.
either held captive or taken care of. you know,
Well, Leroy is actually in it chapter 1, so that tells me that he does somehow survive.
that's true. He is in it one.
So maybe
I did
Dick
just
helps him.
rewatch all of them. Maybe Dick does help him, or maybe something. I mean, at the end, it does come back. He does wake up. So I mean,
Right.
maybe because he wakes up, they're all like, "Oh crap," and they keep him around.
Maybe, but I don't see the military being that lenient though, especially after putting a gun to Francis's head. And
Well,
Francis is thinking that he's going to prevent another civil war. He just wants to have control over everything.
the fact
He
that he
thinks,
pulled the gun on him, what, 2, 3 times, and
yeah,
they still let him walk around. I mean, I don't know. I think they're maybe just not right in the head, and they think that he's the least of the problem or whatever. I don't know. It was kind of a weird situation.
I think it was like, well, we're going to let him think that he's okay, but he's really not okay.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Because remember, he tells the other guys, is like, make sure he doesn't leave the base.
Yeah, and make sure
So
that he doesn't.
now,
I mean, that could be interpreted in many ways. Like, don't make sure he doesn't leave the base or keep him on the base.
right, both, maybe both altogether.
Both.
So now the major doesn't want Leroy to leave the base. We talked about that. Will's at home. It pretends to call him, but it's Pennywise on the phone.
Yes, the way he starts out with her voice, and then you got the double up of the voice. That was a good transition. I like that.
It was, and then Will's like, "I'm not scared of you." And I like how he's trying to stand up for himself. And then at that moment, it shows up on the counter, and then jumps
Yep.
down, and then he opens up the deadlights.
Yep. And there goes Will.
And so I'm thinking that this is what's going to happen. I think that Leroy is going to go back down in that sewer and try
Mhm.
to get Will back.
Yeah. He'll probably do it with Dick as well.
Right. You're going to need Dick for this job, and you're also going to need Lily because she has the
This
spear.
this yeah, shard of
Right.
the material that it's afraid of.
And everybody's thinking that this chart that she has is actually changing her behavior, but it's not changing her behavior. It's just the fact that she didn't like the fact that Veronica called her crazy.
Uh, there's that, and I mean, she's having a complete mental breakdown. I mean, she just saw all these people, all of her friends originally die in the theater, and then she's
Hmm.
been chased and everything, and then people still think she's loony, and then it has been messing with her mentally as well. And she finally found something that just stopped it in its tracks, and she's going to be like possessive of it, of course, and because it kept Pennywise away, right? So I don't think it's really like corrupting her in a way. I think she's so mentally like broken at this point,
She's
and
been
this
through a
is the
lot of
only
damn
thing.
trauma. Yeah,
This is the only thing that has kept it away. so
exactly.
so she's going to be possessive of it because it's the only thing protecting her mentally.
Right, because I was like, well, she's her behavior's changing. I'm like, no, she's just using it as protection, and she also doesn't like the fact that she's being called crazy. She's also went through a bunch of trauma
Oh, that and the
as well.
one of the people that she trusted, Kersh, ended
Yeah,
up being it's well, Pennywise's daughter, right?
right. I
So
would have freaked out too. I'm like, no.
yeah, that was a whew, that was a doozy.
Yeah, that would traumatize me. Is like this woman who told me that I need to keep an eye, go down in the sewers, investigate this whole thing, and to know that it was all a setup from the
Mhm.
very get go, just to see her daddy.
Right. And then she tries to give excuses and everything, and
Right.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was a whew. Yeah, so I don't think it's really corrupting her in any way. I think
Me
she's
either.
just this is her protection, and if something protects you from a monster, you're gonna want to keep it with you at all times.
Exactly. Because all that is just a protection and that's it. I mean, and yeah, it could be radioactive, but it's not going to be where, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to corrupt your mind.
Right. If anything, maybe physically, if it's
Right.
radioactive. Yeah.
Let's see what else. So then we also have some other Easter eggs. Uh Okay, so at the Black Spot, we talked about the Storm of the Century thing. Another reference to Muschietti's first It film comes during the Black Spot. Halloran now pledged by aggrieved spirits for opening his mental box.
Hmm.
Sees a headless ghost slouching towards him through the flames. This appears to be the same spirit that terrorizes young Ben Hanscom inside the Derry Public Library. The little headless kid.
Oh yeah.
So that's
I
actually
didn't
a
even
little
think
Easter
about that.
eggs to It Chapter 1. Here's a deep cut when Clint storms the black spot with the cronies, and two, he's okay. I already said this. I don't know why I'm repeating myself. Okay. Pennywise ends his charming, if marsh, but performance with an arm pumping, leg kicking dance that will be familiar to fans of Muschietti's first It film. It's a bit less creepy here, though. The kids go positively gaga for it. There are a few hints throughout King's book that Pennywise's real name was Bob Gray, though it never confirmed. Here we see the non-possessed clown using a handkerchief embroidered with initials RG for Robert Gray. And
Hmm.
just to confirm, when he introduces himself to Georgie, he does wind up saying he is Bob Gray, Pennywise the Dancing Clown. It's even in the novel itself.
Yeah. That I actually
So,
remembered.
but yeah, that's pretty much all the Easter eggs for episode 7 that I noticed. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up as far as this episode goes?
No, man. I think they did a great job with this episode. This whole series so far has been like crazy. There's been so much going on, and like it's actually kept a great pace. And the next episode is the next one. The next one's going to be the finale for the season.
Yep, that's it. 8 episodes.
That's whew, there's been so much just going. I can't wait for this next episode, man.
Me either. But I here's what I like though about it though is the fact with 8 episodes, you actually would feel like it was rushed.
Right.
But this is not rushed. They took their time to build the story out and also enhance the experience of what Stephen King's novels are. And this is actually its own cinematic universe. So so Dick was never in it or anything like that.
Right.
So I like how this is its own cinematic universe and it actually extends out from The Shining and Doctor Sleep and gives us more an enhanced flavor to it.
Yeah, it gives it that extra seasoning and kind of brings everything together in some ways.
Exactly. So, all right, guys. So my question for you is, did you guys like this? Did you not like this episode? Because I know Chris and I both love this episode. We both love this series. But what did you guys like? What did you guys didn't like? I'd like to know in the comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, but don't forget to go on ahead, give us a 5-star review on Spotify and also on Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts from. And always until next time, guys, have a great and safe night. And since it's also Christmas time, go ahead and buy you guys some merch for crying out loud. I have the link in the description and everything for you guys to buy some merch. So go get yourself some merch and always until next time.
See you guys later.
Later, guys.